Watch someone who speaks only when their thinking is clear and logical, even in a chaotic room. Their insights feel effortless, arriving with a precision that cuts through the noise. We often attribute this clarity to a fixed trait, something tucked away in their DNA that the rest of us simply lacked at birth. Research in cognitive psychology suggests a different origin. High-level thinking is shaped by daily mental behaviors. While baseline IQ provides the potential, the habits we build determine how much of that potential we actually utilize. Left to its own devices, the brain operates on an energy-saving autopilot. It favors instant reactions and easy answers because they require the least amount of metabolic effort. This timeline maps out a single decision. On one end is the stimulus, a problem or a fact. On the other is your action. Between them lies a gap where a smart thinker overrides their autopilot. By expanding this space, you move from a state of reacting to a state of deliberate processing. This transition defines the shift from instinctive behavior to controlled reasoning. The process begins when a difficult problem triggers an immediate emotional urge to react. This is the brain's oldest defense mechanism, firing off before the logical centers even realize there is a problem to solve. To counter this, high-level thinkers employ the pause. They consciously delay their reaction, creating a buffer between the feeling and the response. By blocking the fast, jagged red signal of an emotional impulse, you create a path for the slower blue signal of logic. Once logic takes over, the brain enters metacognition, thinking about your own thoughts, a feedback loop analyzing your initial impressions. During this audit, a thinker asks specific questions. What evidence actually supports this belief? Could my past experiences be biasing my judgment right now? This habit of self-interrogation identifies flaws like confirmation bias and overconfidence before they can corrupt the final decision. By disarming these internal traps early, the thinker ensures their next move is based on data rather than a filtered version of reality. As the investigation continues, the thinker engages with the core substance of the problem. This phase requires desirable difficulty, a level of effort that feels taxing but is necessary for deep understanding. While most people seek out summaries and easy-to-digest content, sharp thinkers gravitate toward complex material. They choose the friction of difficult ideas over the comfort of simple ones. When they hit a wall of misunderstanding, they do not rush to a premature conclusion. They sit with the confusion, allowing the brain time to parse the complexity. This mental friction serves as resistance training for the brain. Studies on learning show that struggling to understand a difficult concept improves long-term problem-solving ability. Mental discomfort signals that the brain is currently reorganizing to handle a higher level of complexity. It is the price of cognitive growth. When it is finally time to act, smart thinkers express their findings in terms of likelihood. They move away from certainty and into the realm of probability. This slider demonstrates avoiding black and white thinking. By rejecting absolutes, a thinker keeps judgment anchored in a reality rarely 100% certain. When new evidence arrives, the slider shifts. The thinker updates their belief immediately to match the most recent data. Changing one's mind in light of new facts demonstrates a commitment to accuracy that outweighs the need to protect the ego. In complex environments, the ability to adapt to a changing reality is a more effective strategy than adhering to a rigid, outdated opinion. This entire sequence is a learned process. By repeating these steps, the brain builds the pathways necessary to make these behaviors feel more natural over time. The checklist is simple to state, but requires discipline to execute. Pause the impulse, audit the bias, embrace the difficult data, calculate the odds, and adapt as things change. Applying these habits allows anyone to bridge the gap between their current reasoning and their potential. It provides a structured way to elevate decision-making in every area of life. Knowledge provides the raw material for a thought, but the discipline to control your reaction determines the quality of the final decision. Sharper thinking begins the moment you take mastery over your own mental impulses.